This has got out of hand very, very quickly indeed. David Coote, we know, has been suspended. He has lost his position with UEFA. It appears that he is going to be dismissed as a role as a Premier League referee. His friend, who also featured in the video we've learned, has also been suspended from his job. We're going to take a listen to what Gary Neville has had to say on the situation as well, and I think a lot of us have been waiting on tenterhooks to see what he has to say, someone who has defended the referees and the PGMOL so closely. But as the Sun newspaper, a newspaper that I don't like, I have very little time for, but they have now gone on the offensive. They have gone out and, disgracefully in my opinion, targeted people. I don't know how they find these individuals, but targeted people that have been friends or pretended to have been friends with David Coote. The volume of videos now being leaked about this man go beyond what he does as a referee, what he said in a professional capacity, or said about Jürgen Klopp and Liverpool, and how that may damage his professional capacity to be an impartial, unbiased referee. But the Sun newspaper, we are not going to show the video because I don't want that kind of video on the football terrace. There is a screenshot here. The video shows David Coote during the Euros snorting what appears to be an illegal substance, or white powder, as many people are calling it. This is clearly, he's in a situation where he's with people that at the time he trusted. They're partying, they're in their world having a good time. Not my cup of tea, but for some people, that's how they have fun. This has now been leaked. And although there is part of me that doesn't like the way the referees have behaved for a long time and is fuming at the comment about Klopp and multiple other elements of the PGMOL and everybody surrounding them, I can't help but think that this is getting a little bit out of hand. A little bit out of hand. And almost, I want to say to sort of my fellow members of the Football Terrace community and anyone else outside of that sees this, let's try our best to keep this about his professionalism, his ability to be a referee. But the one thing that really stood out to me when I saw this, and it's the reason why I really wanted to say this on camera, I said earlier that I think external people need to get more involved in football. Regulators, regulating leagues. I think having independent bodies that come in that test for bias within the referee community. But what I also stated is that we also have to protect these referees. They are human beings, as we have stated on many shows. And clearly, David Coote is succumbing to pressure here. Now, some of you might say, again, this is utter woke nonsense, but I believe, typically speaking, a man of his age, taking what appears to be an illegal substance like that is a bit of a cry for help, in my personal opinion. So as much as I think the PGMOL are going to dismiss him, I also look at this situation and think, how are they going to help him? What are they going to do to make him better? What are they going to do to ensure that he is protected? I hope what they don't do, and I've said it all along, is that they don't hang him out to dry, cut him adrift, pretend like they're perfect, and then leave him to pick up the pieces all by himself. Because I feel like he is where he is in terms of behavior, attitude, bias, the things that he said, the things that he's doing, partly due to the job and the role that he has done. I do want to get your thoughts. I do want to get your feelings and opinions on that. In terms of Gary Neville has come out and said some interesting things today. He has stated that for David Coote to be removed from Liverpool games, I think would be a good step. I mean, you've got to go one further than that, Gary, though. He can't referee any game that could also impact Liverpool, title races, top four races, cup games. Say Liverpool win a quarter final and they're going into the semis, and the other quarter final, where they know their future opponent is between Man United and Charlton. Would as a Man United fan, I wouldn't be comfortable in refereeing that game, because maybe who knows what he's going to do. So it's wider than just that. In employment law, he says, I am not an employment lawyer, but if you call someone a name, I feel like it's a warning, a second warning, a final warning. I don't feel like it's an axe. It's like it should be axed or it's the sack. Well, again, I'm not an employment lawyer either, but I did work for one of the biggest organizations in the world for well over a decade, and there are very clear rules and very clear instructions around what you could and could not say publicly. You could not be negative about fellow employees and colleagues, the company at large or customers. You could not be negative about them in any way, shape or form across social media. So I do think what he does has warranted the sack. He says, I feel like taking him off Liverpool games and giving him a final warning is probably something that should happen, but I feel like he should lose. I don't feel like he should lose his career and everything he has worked all his life for. I do feel he has crossed the line. That line, I feel, would have been crossed if he'd have said, I'm not going to give Liverpool another decision again. And do you know what? I do agree with elements there of what Gary Neville has had to say. He has worked his entire career, but when you now look at these leaks that are coming out, I feel as though his job and his position is becoming ever more untenable. At least until maybe, the situation with drugs is addressed. Gary then goes on to say, I feel like if we look at the words that David Coote said, obviously it's going to bring great disappointment to the refereeing community. He says, but he's called Jürgen Klopp the C word, which is obviously a very aggressive word, but I don't see anything within his words that told me it had influenced decisions in the wrong way, but he was looking to do Liverpool over, do another club over. Again, the one thing that's missing here, the one thing that's really missing is, yes, see you next Tuesday is a very aggressive word, but he also called him a German see you next Tuesday. And I keep seeing so many members of the media ignore the xenophobia within this as well. So it isn't just calling him a name, it's the xenophobic element of it as well. Where Gary Neville is right, and I can't wait to actually see the footage of this when it comes out. Maybe they're going to re-record it now. Maybe they're not going to release it after what's just come out today, which would tell a very compelling story. However, I think the problem for David Coote is that there's so many other pieces which Gary Neville himself has shared of evidence of referees having been biased in the past. There's too many questions. I feel, and part of me does feel sorry for him on a human level, there's no doubt. But from a footballing point of view, can they take the risk? Should they take the risk? I want to pose that question to you all. I want to put that question out to the community. I have a feeling that more stuff is going to come out, more stuff is going to be leaked. I implore anybody that's ever said they were a friend of David Coote, a family member of his, to not leak anything that could damage him further, because I feel that although he has done wrong on a professional level and he's facing dismissal from his job, there are certain elements here, and maybe you disagree with me, maybe you think they do, maybe it's his decision-making, maybe his lifestyle, maybe these elements do impact his job and you feel that they are relevant. It's relevant for the public to hear about this, but I'm not too sure if some of the leaks that we've seen, I've been DM'd by a few people saying, I've been sent this video and I've been sent that video and I might release it. And I've just said to them, look, why? Like, do you really think this is going to help him, help the PGMOL, help the Premier League? Who benefits from this coming out and being leaked? I don't know. The only people benefiting from this news story probably are the Sun and the person that sold the video. It's not a great look, though, for the PGMOL. They've already been exposed in so many ways. I want your thoughts and feelings on what Gary Neville has had to say here as well. Leave us your comments below. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Another dark day for English football, though. See you later. Bye-bye.